Peeps, Kenny Molotov here in the studio, and I know it's a provocative title, so I want to get into the subject right away. Essentially, this goes out to our female viewers because I've been approached by a couple of you, and I've had the same question asked to me a couple of times, and I really wanted to kind of give you my 2 cents on it and tackle the mentality that goes along with it. I'm a little bit concerned that this might be a common theme amongst our female apprentices, so I want to give you the encouragement I think you deserve. Here's essentially the question that typically gets asked. I've been approached a couple of times, and a couple of ladies have essentially messaged me and they said, Kenny, you know, I'm really interested in getting into plumbing, but I'm really worried if I'm going to be able to keep up, if I'm going to be able to pull, push, and lift things, and also just keep up with my male counterparts, essentially. And what I really want to do is take the mentality that's taking place here and just shift it a little bit. And the moment the shift takes place and it clicks in everybody's mind, we will all start thinking like tradespeople. Here's what you have to realize. We're not weight training, we're not powerlifting. What we are doing is construction. And the very nature of construction is that we're going to be working with materials at some point that defy the abilities of the human body. In other words, we're going to be working with materials so heavy that we're never going to be able to pull, push, and lift them. It is us as construction workers to problem solve that and still take whatever that material is and put it in exactly where it needs to be. We need to all remember our ancient ancestors were moving stones as large as rooms, kilometers. They've been rolling them kilometers. Not only that, they used intricate pulley systems to be able to lift them and put them on top of one another. Our ability to lift and move things does not come down to our ability to lift and move things. I know that sounds bananas, but it comes down to our ability to problem solve. That's what I'm trying to say to you all. So look, I want to give you a couple of examples. I'm not strong enough to lift a hot water tank. If you told me to take a hot water tank and move it 100 yards down the road, what I would have to do is I'd have to go get a dolly, I'd have to slide it underneath the hot water tank, I'd have to tilt it up, and I'd walk it as far as you want me to walk it because a dolly has 2 wheels. I could walk it 100, 200 yards easy without breaking a sweat. And if you can't lift a hot water tank, you'd be doing the exact same thing. If you had to take a pump that's going to be used for a force main, each of these pumps weighs about 50 pounds, and they have a 2-inch outlet a lot of the times, you're going to have to solder a 2-inch MIP and a 2-inch length of pipe with a 90 on the end. You're going to have to thread that guy into the pump itself, and then you're going to have to lift this and put it into a pit that's about 15 feet below the ground. Now, I can lift 50 to 75 pounds, sure, but there's no way in heaven that I can also climb it down a ladder safely without hurting myself or without hurting somebody else. So how would I solve this problem? I would drill a shot, I would put in a 3/8 threaded rod, I'd put in a hanger. I'd go get a hoist. A hoist weighs about 20 to 30 pounds, but it's made of materials that can lift 500 to 1,000 pounds. That's what hoists are designed for. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach a very strong rope to our pump. We're gonna take the hoist, which has a hook. We're gonna attach it to this rope. We're gonna hoist the entire assembly up. Once it's dangling, we're gonna lure it into the pit, and then we're gonna slowly pull it down. The reason why I'm telling you these examples is because we did not use our ability to lift things to lift things. We used our ability to problem solve to lift things. And that's what we have to start thinking about. The question isn't if you can keep up. The question is, how are you going to keep up? That's what makes you a tradesperson and a construction worker. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, what I want to do is give you a couple of very hard promises that are as honest as I can be. But remember, the promises I'm about to give you are not just for our female viewers, they're for our male viewers, they're for everybody watching this right now. Here are a couple of promises that are absolutely going to happen. Number 1, I promise you that there are going to be days where this trade absolutely wipes the floor with you. You are going to be asking from your body things that it can't do. You are going to be lifting cast iron. You are going to have to handle a hot water tank and roll it into place. You're going to have to dig trenches. You're going to have to dig cement. You're going to have to break. These things are all going to happen, and I promise you, you're going to get home. You're going to be so tired that that meal that you were supposed to cook for yourself to make yourself feel better will happen only after a very very quick nap. You're gonna go lay on the couch for 2 minutes. You're gonna close your eyes for 5 seconds, and all of a sudden you're gonna wake up the next day. That's gonna happen. I promise you that you are gonna get into a number of fights with vanities, with water closets, and you're gonna lose all those fights. That's going to happen. There's gonna be a day where you're gonna have to remove a faucet from a vanity, but the faucet is half a century years old. And if you go underneath the vanity, you're gonna notice that the nut that's securing the faucet to the vanity is absolutely seized. WD-40 is gonna do nothing for you, and the vanity is staring you in the face going, what do you got, bro? What do you got? And you're gonna say, I got a Sawzall. You go to the truck, you pick it up. Now you gotta use this power tool. You gotta make sure you don't destroy the vanity countertop as you're cutting the stems. You also gotta make sure that you don't destroy the drywall, and of course, don't destroy yourself. These are things that are going to happen. You're gonna lose a lot of fights in this trade. But unbeknownst to you, what's going to be happening simultaneously is you're gonna be building your body. Simultaneously, it's gonna become more efficient exactly for these movements and these motions. And the other thing you're gonna be doing simultaneously, unbeknownst to you, is you're gonna be collecting data in your mind specifically to problem solve in this trade. That's what's going to be happening. You are gonna at some point come to a task and you're gonna be asking of your body things that it cannot do. In other words, there are gonna be things that are stronger than you, etc. And you're gonna solve those problems in a very similar way that we all solve those problems, which is you're gonna throw your whole body into whatever motion you have to do. You're gonna throw your whole body into it. You're gonna be sweating profusely. You'll probably cuss a couple of times. It's all part of the game. It's all what we do to get to the point where it's not gonna be difficult anymore. Promise you those bad days are gonna come. I promise you you're gonna feel defeated and really small, but every single human in the trade goes through those days. The second thing I want to promise you is that at some point you are going to meet an idiot. And the reason why I used that word was because it's an understatement. And if I use the words that really describe people like I'm thinking about right now, I wouldn't be able to monetize this video. But at some point, you're going to come face to face with somebody that's going to belittle you, that's going to diminish all your efforts, that's going to make you feel small like this. But what you're going to do is instead of take it personally, you're going to realize that they are showing you the limitations of their problem-solving mechanism right here. That's not on you. That's on them. Do not ever let people that can't problem-solve situations dictate the way you navigate this world. I promise you, you're going to meet them. They're not just in the trades. They're in every single career that you go into. You're going to find people like this. They manifest a little bit differently, but they're made of the exact same toxicity. Your ability to do this trade will never come down to your gender. It will never come down to your sexual orientation. It will never come down to your race. It will never come down to you being differently abled. It will come down to the fire inside your heart and the problem-solving mechanism between your ears. Whatever your body is limited to do, your mind has to make up for. And when you join the trades, you are joining a career where we spend our lives problem-solving the limits of our bodies. And we're trying to figure out how to do things that are virtually impossible for our bodies to do. That is what tradespeople do.